lovelies, it's Sarcasm the Sickness, and welcome back for another episode of Skill Link. Sorry this is going up a little late today. I intended to wake up around 2 today, but I ended up waking up like 4 or 5 or whatever. It was just really bad, so by the time I actually like ate and kind of got myself situated, it's already 7 o'clock by the time I'm recording this. So this is gonna go up really late, and I'm super sorry about that. I really didn't mean for that to happen. I actually wanted to record it last night, but the problem was I don't have any more recordings at the moment because I'm in the middle of a big commission, which I'm very excited about, and I can't wait to be able to show you that. But yeah, I'm not finished with it yet, so I don't have the full footage to show you just yet. So I actually had to spend some of the time yesterday actually drawing something so that I could have Skill Link up for today. So that's why it's so late, because I meant to record it ahead of time and I just couldn't because I didn't have the footage. So what I did draw for you guys, well, not really for you guys, more so for me, but what I drew was a Meowth character that I'm going to be doing like a little comic series for. It is related to a group thingy on DeviantArt. Maybe I'll talk about that eventually, but right now I don't really feel like going into the details because it's kind of weird and hard to explain, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, this is my Meowth character, Valentine, and I've decided to practice my that lineless style that I've been working on lately. You may have seen a little bit of it on Twitter. I really wanted to show you the one that I did for Kuro, but unfortunately, I did that during the Twitch stream, so I wasn't recording it, and it didn't save the stream, so I couldn't get that footage, which makes me sad, because I really wanted to have that on the channel. It was really cool, and I'm just so proud of how it turned out, and I can't show you guys, which is such a bummer. Anyway, that's what this is. It's just a character that I've got that I've been working on. And we'll be working on a series or not a series, a freaking comic, like I said. Whatever, we'll talk about that later. Maybe not in this episode of whatever, but I don't know, maybe I'll mention it after I'm done with the actual comic and be like, hey guys, this is where you can watch or read it, and this is what it's about. But yeah, right now, just Meowth character, rawr. And I've spent 3 minutes explaining what the heck I'm doing, which is not good. Anyway, today I was looking on my list of things to discuss eventually, and I noticed that a main pattern, I guess, was that people wanted me to talk about love. And, I understand it's a really big topic for a lot of people. It's an important one. And I had 3 different aspects of love, I guess, that people wanted me to discuss. And today, I posted all of them on Twitter, and I was like, here, pick from A, B, and C. Everybody picked C, or not everybody, but like most people picked C, I guess, except for like 4 people. So C was the topic of true love. So today what we're going to talk about is, I guess, my thoughts on true love, what it is, how it works, you know, stuff like that. So I guess I'll just dive right in. It's such a weird place to just start, but yeah, we'll just do that. I think that true love is unconditional love. You know, you can love this person no matter what they do, and even if they hurt you, you do your best to understand why, or maybe even accept that you can, like, never really understand why they hurt you or why it happened, but, you know, but you still end up finding a way to forgive them in the end, and it's like, I don't know, that's going a little too deep right off the bat, but I guess it's mostly like falling in love with this person more and more every single day. Like you just look over at them and they could be doing something completely normal, like just like reading something or drinking coffee over breakfast, and you're just looking at them for whatever reason. You just kind of get lost in it, and you're just like god damn, like I really really love this person, you know. And I don't know, it's just finding something about them that is enamoring. You can't help but love this whatever it is, and maybe it's everything, and maybe it's nothing, and it's just, for whatever reason, you just love that, you know? And I guess it's because of this, like, really just powerful, crazy bond that true love can honestly be one of the most painful experiences of your life. And that's because I don't believe that true love is always fair. I think that you can fall in love with somebody, like, you can truly fall in love with somebody who doesn't love you back. And I know that's not what anybody wants to hear. Everybody wants to know that the person that they fall in love with is the person who will be in love with them too, and that's not always the case. It's almost, at least from my experience, from my personal experience, it's almost never the case. You guys know that I've been through a lot of relationships, and I'm not gonna say like I was in true love with everybody, but I certainly did love them all. Well, except for like maybe one or two. But you know, I loved them and I did my best for them, and they never truly loved me back, and so I guess that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, you know? It's just what happens. It's just because I love them, just because you love this person unconditionally, does not mean that their love for you is unconditional. And, I don't know, it's just like you try and you try and you try and you put in all this effort and you do everything you can to fix what's broken in the relationship. You do everything you can to make sure that they're happy and they're taken care of and that everything's fine, you know, coming from you at least, but they just don't try back. They just don't try for you, you know? They don't put in that effort for you the same way that you do for them, or, you know, or at all sometimes. Sometimes they just don't try at all. And when you're in that sort of relationship, when you truly love this other person, it's so hard to see how flawed and broken it is. It's so hard to see that, you know, that you're the only one who truly feels in love in this situation. And it's just, you're so deeply in love with that person that you just don't want to accept that maybe they're not right for you. You don't want to think that maybe you're not right for them, you know? It's like, but I love you, and why isn't that enough? Why is that not enough? And sometimes it just isn't enough. It isn't enough that you love this person. They have to love you back, and sometimes even if they do, sometimes that's not even enough, you know? Sometimes situations make it difficult, or I don't know, it's just, I guess maybe that's the difference. Maybe true love will get over those differences, and kind of like regular, like, I don't even know how to say what regular love is as opposed to true love, but, you know, maybe just there's another kind of love that can't overcome those boundaries, you know? But it doesn't mean you don't love them, it's just that, you know, you don't love them enough, or they don't love you enough, or something like that. I don't know, it sounds weird to say. It sounds really weird to say. But, I don't know, it's just, I think when you're truly in love with somebody and they may not truly be in love with you back, and they just don't try, and you just, I've done it so many times where, you know, you're there in this relationship and you're like, well, I have to keep trying, you know? Maybe if I just keep trying, maybe if I just, if you just suck it up one more time, if you just let it go one more time, you know, whatever they said or whatever they did, and, you know, you give it your all for another month or another year, or, you know, you figure out, like, okay, well, they don't like it when I do this, so maybe I'll just change that about myself, and it'll be okay, and it'll all work out, and it'll get better. But then it just, I don't know, it just doesn't. It just doesn't, and it can't sometimes, because it really does need two people to truly be in love with each other and to truly want to give their all for each other to make it happen, I guess. It's, I don't know. I feel like true love itself is common, but mutual true love, like two people who actually truly love each other, is rare. Like, there are so many people that I've met, and I guess myself included, really, who, you know, who are unshakably in love with someone who doesn't love them back. And I don't mean right now, I mean, like, in the past. In the past, I've been in love with people who never loved me back, or didn't love me back the same way, or thought they loved me back, but really didn't, you know? It's weird. It's so weird, the way your heart messes with you right like that. But, yeah, there are people out there who I know are so madly in love with their partner, but that other person just doesn't care about them the same way. And I don't know, it's really hard to see. It's really hard to watch. Especially since I've been there. Especially since I know exactly how it's gonna turn out. I know exactly the 10, 20, 100 different ways that it could end. And none of them are pretty. None of them are nice. It's just, it really sucks. It really sucks. But again, I don't think that true love is fair. I think that there are people out there who will love somebody absolutely unconditionally, but then other people who just won't or can't, or need somebody extremely special to feel that for, you know? And that's not necessarily a bad thing, I guess. It's just a bad thing when they let this other person, this wrong person, I guess, who's truly in love with them, you know, keep loving them for a long time until they eventually grow tired of it. It's just like, okay, you know, this isn't working out, and it hasn't been working out for like 5 years, but, you know, you were taking such good care of me that I just kind of let it happen. Like, it's just, it's sad, and it's painful. But yeah, it's just, I feel like finding two people who, you know, who have found each other and are both, like, madly, truly in love with each other is super hard. It's really rare to see two people who put in their full effort for each other. Two people who always try to make sure that the other one knows that they're loved, even though they know they don't have to, you know? It's like they know that the other person knows that they love them, but they still do all those little things to make them happy because they just want to remind them every day, you know? Or as often as possible, I guess. And I don't know, you can kind of just tell, you know, by the way they look at each other, or, you know, just, it's nice. I don't know. It's really nice to see that. It's like that couple that, you know, they can communicate really, really well without even, like, speaking words. Like, they know by the way the person, like, by the look on the other person's face, or, like, the tone in their voice, or like, they're saying something and it seems like, you know, to anybody else on the outside of the situation, it seems like they're fine, but this person knows, like, oh, well, you know, that has kind of a hidden meaning, and they really mean this, and they kind of are feeling uncomfortable in the situation, and we should probably go, you know? Like, stuff like that. It's just, it's crazy. It's really nice. It's really cool. So I guess this is the part where I go and talk about what I think true love is for me, because I have to imagine that it's probably different for everybody, you know? Like, I don't know, like, yeah, I only really know my point of view on it, but I guess it's probably different for everybody. And, you know, you see those posts all the time, like, true love is when your girlfriend orders you a pizza and, you know, and buys you the new video game and you don't even have to ask her. Or, like, true love is when the boy, you know, gets this, you know, sets up your bubble bath for you and lights candles in the bathroom and just, like, lets you have a chill night and rubs your feet at the end of the night because he knows that you had a hard day at work before you even had to tell him. And it's just, like, I don't know, I guess it's, I mean, I guess that could be part of it. It could be. It doesn't mean that, like true love always is two people who like to play the same video games, or true love is always, you know, two people who do this or that or whatever, you know. It's just one person's interpretation, or several people's interpretation, I guess, maybe. But I don't think it's always that, you know. I don't think it's always one thing, and like I said, there's no way that it's always just the way I see it. This is just what I think about it, I guess. And like I said, I think it's different for everybody. But yeah. My way of true love, I guess, involves a lot of communication. It's like being able to talk to each other about anything and feel safe doing so. Knowing that maybe you don't always see eye to eye on everything, but you'll always be able to appreciate their different point of view and do your best to understand how they could think that way. Like, I can't stand when I say something and somebody's like, well, how could you think that? How could you possibly think of a way that's different than mine? You know, like, I can respect different opinions, and I need my partner to be able to understand that too. You know, I need my partner to be able to respect that maybe I won't always feel the same way as they do. And that's a really important thing to me, because it frustrates the hell out of me when I can understand somebody's point of view but they refuse to understand mine, you know? Like, that it makes me so angry. I'm just like, how can you not understand? Like I'm not completely irrational, I'm not completely crazy, you know? But yeah, that's a big part of it for me, is communication, being able to talk to each other and stuff. Oh, and I guess along those same lines, it's like being able to deal with problems quickly when they arise, and even if that means screaming at each other sometimes, it's it means, like, you know, coming back together at the end and talking about why what happened, and, you know, maybe talking about how we can fix the situation in the future, or, like, I don't know, like, reminding each other that we love each other. I would much rather, like, scream and yell than have the other person just walk away. That is the scariest thing for me. Because at least if we're screaming and yelling, at least if we're angry at each other, at least if we're, like, that livid with each other, we're still trying to talk to each other about it. No, maybe it's not helpful exactly, but it's a lot more helpful, and you can learn a lot more than when the person just completely walks away from the situation. When the person says, I cannot deal with this, I cannot deal with you, and just leaves, you know? Like, because then it makes it so much harder to revisit that topic and try to talk about it again later. And I don't know, it just scares me, you know? And I understand that some people need that. Some people need to be able to walk away and come back to it later. But from a lot of my experience, when they walk away and come back later, they don't want to talk about it later. And it just never gets talked about. And then the problem happens again and again and again and again, and I can't deal with that, you know? I personally know that I can't deal with that. I need to be able to talk about it. Even if I'm really mad at the moment, or they're really mad, you know? It's just, that's what has to happen. For me, I guess. I don't know. I guess along those lines of, you know, being angry, it means for me, like, not going to sleep angry. Because I can't go to sleep angry, or I can't stand going to sleep angry, or wondering if the other person is gonna wake up and still be mad at me. Like, that's so scary to me. And, you know, and I guess the biggest thing is understanding that when we're angry at each other, it's usually because we're just hurt, and we're hurt because we just care about each other that much. And, you know, it's being able to understand that and look at it, you know, objectively, I guess. I don't know, it means, for me, compromise on both parties' parts, and not just one person, and I understand that means, you know, no, I'm not always gonna get my way. And I know that I need to be okay with that, because I don't like being the one that always has to bend, and I know that I wouldn't want to do that to my partner. So, yeah, so I'm okay with compromise. And granted, there are some things that are very hard for me to compromise on, and things that I will resist, and I know that the other person's gonna have that too, and I guess I just hope that in those situations, that we can work out a good compromise that is best for both, you know? And I guess that's another part of it too, is being able to figure out who needs what more at that point in time, you know? I don't know, it means being, like, attracted to this other person for their qualities, you know? Like, you see how beautiful they are, you see how charming they are, you see, you know, like, oh, they're really good with words, whatever. You know, and you're attracted to them because of that. You want to be around them because of that. But then, you know, you get to know them more, and you fall in love with them for all of their faults, for all of their little things that maybe annoy other people. Maybe it's their laugh that they hate and, you know, people find annoying, but you just love it, you know? Or, you know, it's the way that they I don't know, they, like, crack their neck or their knuckles or something, and other people are like, oh my god, stop, and you're just like, oh, it's kind of cute. Or just, you know, like, silly, weird things that maybe other people didn't like them for, you know? but you love them for that. It's all these imperfections that it really is the imperfections that make the person, I think. I think that's the most important part of a person. Because if they were perfect, they would probably be incredibly boring and predictable, at least to me. Like, if they were the perfect human being, it would just be kind of lame. So yeah, I think falling in love with a person's faults, their problems, their imperfections is probably one of the most important things, at least, like I said, to me. And, you know, it's knowing all these little quirks about them. It's knowing, like, you know, the way they laugh when something is really, really funny to them, or like the way that they sleep at night, their favorite position to sleep in. And, you know, sometimes just like the way that they hide their mouth sometimes when they laugh or smile, or the way that they walk or hold themselves in public. It's paying attention to all those little things and adoring them and loving them. And it's always like knowing that perfect gift to get them, because you actually listen when they talk about things and you see on their face what they're most excited about and what they're most interested in, you know, stuff like that. And it's about being able to like share things together, you know, like you know, like a love for video games, or maybe, you know, for like going on an evening walk or going to the gym together, but it's also being able to be with each other without always doing the same thing with each other. You know, like those posts say, like, oh, true love is like a girl who will play Call of Duty with you. No, not necessarily. Like, maybe true love is, you know, the girl will play Call of Duty with you sometimes, but sometimes she's just like, you know what, I don't feel like it today, and I'm gonna go play Pokemon instead. And you're just like, okay, that's cool, fine. You know, and it's being able to be around each other and not always be doing the exact same thing all the time, you know? Like, you need alone time, but you can have alone time with each other, too. You know, it doesn't always have to be, like, and sometimes maybe I guess some people do need that time where it's just like, I just have to go out and be without you for a little bit and be independent, and, you know, and that's okay, but I guess my need for that is a lot less than other people, I guess. I do like to feel close, and even if it is, you know, not doing the same thing with each other. I guess being able to do things together. It's, you know, it's about being able to, like, work with each other, or maybe even sometimes without each other, but, you know, it's like having that same end goal in mind, and, or, you know, at least something similar, at least something really similar, and maybe it's not, like, maybe it's like having the same career choice, like you both want to do this, you both want to do that, you both want to do YouTube, you both want to, you know, make a living off of your art, or whatever, you know, or, you know, it could be something a little bit looser, I guess, like both wanting to move together away into the countryside and just live in peace and quiet and stuff. It's like having that one thing, or maybe even several things, that you both are putting your full efforts towards, like something that you both want to build together. And if that is a career, or if that is, you know, like a home for you two to share, or if that is like eventually building a family, you know, it's something that you guys want to do together, that both parties are fully invested in, you know, and that they're working towards all the time. And I guess it also is like having separate goals and being able to encourage each other in them and respect each other in them. I've had partners, or, you know, ex-boyfriends, whatever, who just weren't very encouraging with my art. And that's one of the hardest things. It can be really one of the hardest things to not, like, to have this huge passion for something, this love for something, and the other person just kind of shitting on it. Like, it's one thing to be like I, you know, it's like I said, like, if as long as they respect it, it's fine. But if they disrespect it, then that's so hard. Like, I don't have to date an artist. I don't have to, you know, be with somebody who wants to do the exact same thing as me. I mean, it helps because then you can relate to each other on it more, but it doesn't have to be that way. But as long as they're willing to say, you know, like, maybe I don't draw like you do, but I appreciate what you do, and I want to help you eventually be able to do what you do, you know, what you want to do for a living or whatever, you know, being able to encourage each other and help each other even in small little ways. Just, honestly, just being encouraging can be a help. Because sometimes all they need is somebody to believe in them, you know? And, I don't know. It's just really, really crappy when the other person doesn't doesn't understand your passion and doesn't care about it and doesn't try to care about it, try to at least respect it, like at least respect it. I understand not being able to understand it exactly, or you know, maybe just like oh well, he's really into this, but I don't really care about that. That's fine, as long as as long as you actually encourage them with it, as long as you're actually like hey, he's really into this thing and I don't really understand much about it, but you know, that's his thing, and I'm glad that he has that thing, you know, whatever it is. It's really scary when it doesn't do that, you know, when it's not like that. And I've been there. It's really it's heartbreaking. And I guess, yeah, true love is something that I've kind of been looking for my entire life, I guess. And it's something that I always thought I had, but that's because I was pretty much always the one who put in my full effort for the relationship, even when the other person wasn't really worth it. And I guess those times when I didn't put in my full effort, it made me feel really just disgusting and cruel. And sometimes it wasn't even my fault, you know, that I stopped trying so much. Like, or, you know what, that really is it. It's just that I'm not entirely at fault. Granted, there are things that I've done that I shouldn't have done. But they should have cared more. They should have tried more. If they wanted the relationship to work, they would have worked at it more, you know? And then me not being perfect this one time, you know, not being as loving and caring as I possibly could be this one time, that's not my fault, you know? Because you can only handle so much. A person can only handle so much. I don't know. It's weird. I guess true love is also that old saying that nobody wants to hear. That one that says, if you love them, let them go. Because sometimes you aren't the one that they can truly fall in love with, and it's time for you to go, you know? And if leaving makes them realize that, it makes them, you know, see like, wow, I had something really great, and I want that back, and then they come back to you, then, you know, then at that point it's your choice if you want to let them back, I guess. If you think that they'll actually try this time, then, you know, that they'll actually be able to love you the way that you love them, then, you know, by all means let them in. But if you're afraid it'll be the same, then, you know, the same as before, where you're putting in all this effort and they just aren't, then letting them in again will only hurt you, and it'll only make you suffer more. And I guess, on that note, I think true love has to start with yourself. I think you have to truly love yourself and know what's good for you before you can really know what sort of love you need to have with somebody else. And I think that's about all I have to say on that subject, I guess. And I hope that made any sort of sense. It's just, I don't know, my head's been all over the place lately, and I just hope that, yeah, I just hope that I just hope it made sense. I just hope that, you know, it was understandable, relatable, I don't know. In the comment section below, tell me what you think true love is. You've heard my bit, so what do you think true love is? What is it to you? If you, I don't know, yeah, please leave a like on the video, because, you know, I always appreciate that. And if this is your first time watching Skill Link, you should definitely check out some other ones, because we talk about stuff like this all the time. Sometimes harder subjects, sometimes, you know, touchy-feely subjects, you know, whatever. We talk about stuff and we just chill, man. We just chill. And yeah, and subscribe. Yeah, I always forget to ask for the subscribe too. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to see more videos like this, and check out some other series like Speak No Evil. It's a big deal. It's coming out on Monday again. So yeah. I don't know, guys. Whatever. Bye.